Hi, I'm Veronica Cantu, and I am here to defend the Cotesia congregata, commonly known to society as the Braconid wasp.
And hello, my name is Esteban Zaragoza, and today I will be defending the Navis americoferus, commonly known as the damsel bug. The topic of our debate is which insect is more beneficial.
Braconid wasps are a crucial part of the ecosystem in many ways. Their small bodies measure 2 to 3 millimeters as adults, and their antennae extend to about the length of their bodies. Generally speaking, each braconid wasp will develop differently in terms of their host insect, but all braconid wasps' eggs are deposited by a mother female wasp. These wasps roam around house gardens and can often be considered to be annoying or dangerous. However, that is not the case. They are simply there to carry about their life cycle of growing into adulthood and reproducing, similar to any other insect. In order to reproduce, they must be installed into the body of these pesky hornworms that every gardener will tell you they despise. Hornworms come in different shapes and sizes, but they are all responsible for eating up precious crops, such as tomatoes, peppers, tobacco, moonflowers, and potatoes. As the female wasp inserts her eggs into a hornworm, the hornworm will seem unaffected and may even continue to create damage among plants. But this won't last long. Because the larvae will pupate and emerge out of their cocoons a short time after, permanently damaging and killing the hornworm, braconid wasps use a virus to attack the hornworm's defenses by transpassing the virus that came from its ovaries into the hornworm along with its eggs. The eggs will remain unaffected by the virus as it is part of its own biology. This virus is called the polydnovirus. The virus is a quality that the wasps have obtained through natural selection, considering that it is the only way their eggs would be able to survive inside the host. Otherwise, the host would simply use its immune system to overcome the virus and kill the eggs. Many times, gardeners will see small white organisms emerging from the hornworms. An average person will assume that these are the hornworm's eggs, but these are actually the braconid wasps emerging from the surface of its host, all while slowly killing it. After the cocoons hatch from the caterpillar, they proceed to spinning a web of silk around the host's remains, and they fly off to restart their life cycle and find another caterpillar. In addition to tearing apart hornworms, braconid wasps will also feed on beetle larvae, flies, aphids, leaf miners, and shrew bugs.
An adult damsel bug is about 3/8 to half an inch long. They have long and skinny reddish-brown bodies. They have 4 antennae on their head, and they have wings on their body that aren't fully developed. They also have long legs, with the front legs being even longer than their back legs, which are used to catch prey. Once they have captured their prey, they use their beaks to pierce and suck the juices from their prey's bodies. Damsel bugs spend their winters living in many different winter crops. The crops where they are most found in are the alfalfa and the soybean, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't be found in any other crops, because they will also be found in non-cultivated areas. When the female damsel bugs are ready to lay their eggs, they insert them into the plant tissue. The eggs then go through their 5 stages of development and hatch in about 50 days. The damsel bugs are most abundant in the months of June, July, and August. As stated before, the damsel bugs are mostly found in crops, therefore they feed on caterpillar eggs, flea hoppers, and spider mites, just to name a few. This is where the damsel bugs are beneficial to human society. Apart from eating caterpillar eggs, they also eat pests that are harmful to the crops, such as aphids and squash bug eggs. In fact, some farmers say they actually try to attract damsel bugs to their crops to use them as protection for them. They try to attract them by planting many plants used to produce pollen and nectar, specifically dill, fennel, and lavender. They also say that they are careful where they spray their pesticide because they actually want the damsel bugs to survive and keep taking care of their crops. Although damsel bugs can bite, they are known to be completely harmless to humans, which is just an added bonus. Unfortunately, even if all the precautions are taken to keep them around, some birds that are attracted to the gardens will feed on the damsel bugs.
It seems as though damsel bugs are beneficial to plants in several ways, but it is evident that their positive effects are nowhere near those of the braconid wasps. This is due to the fact that the Braconid wasp actually has the ability of destroying an entire caterpillar rather than just its eggs. In doing so, it is producing 50 to 200 eggs inside the host and therefore creating up to 200 more insects that will grow up to bring about the same benefits. That is to say, their own benefits grow exponentially, and not much work has to be done to attract them into your garden, other than having the pests present. All gardeners have to do is let their reproduction take its course without disruption. In addition, the wasps are much smaller and less annoying to have around your home or farm. Also, the life cycle of a Braconid wasp is much shorter than that of the damsel bug, so it can thus kill pests in a shorter amount of time.
Although I do see where you're coming from, I have to disagree that it is better that the wasp can destroy an entire adult caterpillar. It is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but allowing a caterpillar to grow before being eaten will most likely mean that the caterpillar has already hatched all of its eggs. Additionally, as stated by you, the Braconid wasp doesn't even immediately kill the hornworm. It just lays its eggs in it and eventually kills it. You even said that the hornworm will continue to do damage while the eggs are already laid. This is where the damsel bug comes in and eats all the hornworm's eggs instantly and prevents them from ever hatching, growing into adulthood, and laying more eggs. Ultimately, the damsel bug prevents the caterpillar population from growing, while the wasp does not. As for the Braconid wasp not being less annoying than the damsel bug, I am sure that I would much rather have the damsel bug around than having the Braconid wasp around and risk getting stung. The Braconid wasp having a much shorter life cycle than the damsel bug is actually not a good thing, because the damsel bugs are able to continue to protect the crops for a longer period of time.
Per the previous rebuttal, it was mentioned that the damsel bugs can reduce the population of garden pests because they attack the eggs. That is true and definitely beneficial, but the Braconid wasp also has the ability of doing so. By having coming out of the host insect in such a short amount of time, Braconid wasps are able to invade the garden pests so quickly that they may not have yet had the chance to even reproduce. So to sum up, the wasp has now eradicated the existence of all the host's eggs along with the host egg itself. Therefore, the Braconid wasp absolutely has the ability to reduce the garden pest population substantially. To respond to the issue of wasps stinging, they actually never sting humans unless they are physically attacked by somebody, and nobody would want to disturb them anyways because they have such great benefits overall.
This brings it all down to preference. Do you prefer a Braconid wasp that waits until the hornworm is an adult to slowly kill it, or do you prefer to have a damsel bug that kills a hornworm instantly before it is ever even hatched and able to cause any damage to crops? I feel like the answer is obviously to have the damsel bug, and I'm sure many other people would feel the same way. The damsel bug stops the population from growing, while the Braconid wasp just kills it after it's done its damage. Now, when it comes to the wasp stinging, I understand that it would only sting if it feels threatened, but there's obviously no way for humans to communicate with them, so we can never actually let them know that we aren't going to hurt them. It can easily happen that a person is just walking with no intention of harming any insect, but accidentally gets too close to the Braconid wasp and makes the Braconid wasp feel threatened and therefore sting the person.
All in all, both insects are great assets to any garden, and I firmly believe that their forces could come together to ensure a flourishing garden that now has 2 or more bodyguards protecting its crops. With that being said, I believe more research has to be done to actually know which insect has stopped more pests throughout life, such as what population there is, what countries and regions they reside in, and how efficient they actually are. Nonetheless, I believe the Braconid wasp is extremely impressive in what it has accomplished over time, considering that it carries a virus so powerful that it can kill harmful insects, but not itself. It is a true exhibit of how Mother Nature can make insects contribute to the bigger picture that is the preservation of plants throughout the world.
Overall, I would never say that the Braconid wasp isn't a beneficial insect, because it obviously is. I just don't see how it is any better than the damsel bug. As I said twice before, the damsel bug has the potential to maybe completely wipe out an entire population, while the Braconid wasp seems to just bring down the population at best, while having a shorter lifespan than the damsel bug. I believe that there is a reason why there are many articles that talk about preserving this insect, and that is because of how beneficial it can actually be. Just the fact that people are actually planting specific plants because they're trying to attract these damsel bugs and are being extremely careful where they spray their pesticide in order to keep them alive tells you everything. Therefore, it is important to further study these insects and appreciate how they are both able to contribute to human society.